Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Time and money to have the best experiences out of your life. So in this video, we are going to delve a little deeper into mutual funds and what are the types of mutual funds that you should consider for investing. So I have already made a video on mutual fund 101. That is what exactly is mutual fund and what are the factors that you should consider before investing in mutual fund and few terminologies that you should be aware of before delving or embarking on the journey of investing in mutual fund. So in this video, we are going to discuss what are the various types in which mutual funds are divided. There are enormous ways in which mutual funds are divided, but I am going to break through various categories and types of way mutual funds are divided so that you can take an informed decision and see which are the combination or which are the factors that you should consider to go ahead and invest in mutual fund. So first of all, mutual funds are divided into two types, that is growth versus IDCW. That is, let's say you had invested 100 rupees of your money in a mutual fund and that 100 rupees was invested in some other instrument of equity or debt, and this investment would have earned some interest or dividend, and if this investment is reinvested back, that is, let's say this 100 rupees earned you 6 rupees of dividend or interest, and this 6 rupees is again invested back into the stock market or the debt fund on your behalf, then it will be called growth fund. That is, money is not directly given back to you in terms of cash but rather reinvested. So this will be considered growth fund. And second type is IDCW, that is income distribution and capital withdrawal type, wherein the money that you had invested, it would be earning some amount of dividend or interest. So this money is given back to you either in form of dividend or interest, that is part of income distribution. So this was categorized because of SEBI regulations. So growth is where the money that you had invested and the returns generating is reinvested for it to grow and to earn the compounding effect, and in IDCW the return is given back to you. So that is the first way in which we can divide mutual fund schemes. And usually when you see the NAV of these growth schemes or IDCW schemes, there is usually a difference. And if you see at a longer duration, let's say a scheme that was running for let's say 10-20 years, then this difference is very stark. That is due to the compounding benefit that this growth scheme would have got, because the money is reinvested again and again and you would be earning money out of it or return out of it. In the IDCW form, they would have given back the return either in terms of income distribution or capital withdrawal. And second point is something a little more controversial, that is active fund versus passive fund. Again, there are two schools of thought who dispute on this, whether active fund is a better way of investment or whether passive fund is a better way of investment. If you just go by plain data and where majority believes, then in many cases passive funds is a clear winner over active fund, because more than 50% of fund managers are not able to generate return more than this passive way of investing, that is index fund investing. So first of all, to clear up what is active fund versus passive fund, you would have heard about these terms called Sensex, Nifty. So these are nothing but a basket of stocks that these stock markets have created in different ratio or different weightage, so that the largest companies in Sensex, that will be 30 largest companies, and similarly in Nifty 50, top 50 companies are reconstituted in different weightage, so that these entire companies growth, this entire population that is there of 30 or 50 companies, the benefit of that can be availed by many people. And this does not stop only at Nifty or Sensex. There are various other indexes that are available in the market. It could be sector specific like IT index or BFSI index, that is Nifty Bank, and similarly there are market cap based indexes, be it mid cap or small cap indexes. And the key benefit over here is the expense ratio in passive funds are generally lower when compared to active fund, because in active fund the fund manager needs to employ various people to go through various items like be it stock research, risk management, and various other things that they will have to do to ensure that the fund runs smoothly and is able to generate a good return to meet and satisfy the investors requirement. Whereas in passive fund, there is no need of huge number of people being actively involved in day-to-day management. Whenever the money comes, they can allocate in the proportion of this index and just leave it aside. They need not have to actively engage in various actions of be it when to buy, how much to allocate, or risk management strategy, and they do not have to break their head over this. And if you go by the legendary investor Warren Buffett, he would swear that when he dies, his money should be invested in broad market index funds, passive investing, that is, because he does not think that most of the investors or fund managers out there are able to beat the standard market or index investing. But similarly, there are other group of people who say that active fund managers, if they are good in the game what they are playing, they are able to generate and consistently beat market year on year in the long term. But again, this is something you have to take a call on, and similarly the risk weightage that you will have to think about. And third way of bifurcating this is basis market capitalization. That is, few of these mutual funds invest only in small cap fund, and similarly few would invest only in mid cap fund and few in large cap. Again, these definitions might vary by country to country, and the definition in India is something like this. So basis these definitions, mutual fund manager will take the money that you have invested, and if it's an active fund, they will actively scout and research and do the risk management to invest in the companies which satisfy these criteria to invest. And similarly, if they are a passive fund investor, then the index that is there, which is constituted basis these market capitalization, be it like Nifty, which is a large cap fund, and Nifty mid cap, which constitutes mid cap companies, and similar to these indexes that are created, and they would invest in this, creating it a passive fund. So the reason you will have to note over here is that it's a general tendency. Again, this is not a hard and fast rule. Small cap tends to outgrow or grow faster than their peers of mid cap and large cap. And similarly, mid cap might grow faster than large cap, but large cap might not grow as fast because they're already quite big. And similarly, we'll have to consider the risk scenario over here, or the risk side of thing. Because they're small cap, they can be crushed to death within few days, or similar to that there can be some other issues, be it management issues, legal issues, not having enough financial backing to grow into much larger way, and because of that risk can be a lot higher in these small cap companies. And similarly, large cap companies might be something that are comparatively stable and might not fluctuate. Again, this is might not in as aggressively as small cap funds, and might go up and down comparably in a more stable pace. So basis this, you will have to consider, are you ready to take that excess risk in hopes of generating higher return, or do you want to be little more safer and invest in large cap funds but with maybe a little lesser return than other funds. But there were exceptions in few years in short term like 2020, 2019, wherein large cap funds Nifty outperformed small cap funds sometime. And next way where mutual funds can be categorized is basis sector based investing. That is, we can bifurcate the investment criteria or the way the mutual fund wants to invest basis the sector that they want to invest in. It might be the IT sector, pharma sector, agricultural sector, consumer durables, or various other categories or sectors that you can think of. Let's say there is a mutual fund which wants to focus on automobile and ancillary products. That is, let's say the Maruti Suzuki, Mahindra and Mahindra, and the big automobile houses, as well as OEMs and other companies that help in this huge chain of automobile manufacturing. So they might invest in this as well. And this might be helpful for few of the customers because they might have a higher insight on the sector specific thing and be little more comfortable and have confidence on these sectors. Like previously in India, IT sectors have tend to generate lot higher wealth when compared to its peers in other sector. And similarly, healthcare and pharma is something that people are betting on for the coming years to come due to various things that have happened previously. And even when seeing in the future, people are expecting pharmas to grow a lot higher. And the next way mutual funds are categorized or bifurcated is basis the asset class that these mutual funds invest in. It could be the equity funds or debt funds, or similarly gold funds, gilt funds, and then real estate investments, etc. The reason why mutual funds are also divided basis asset class is because of relative risk that is associated with equity investing, with debt investing, and similarly any other asset classes that they might invest in future. And it also helps investors in preferential allotment of their money in the category of investment that they are interested in. If they are someone who is ready to take relatively higher risk for a relatively higher return that they are expecting, they can go ahead and invest in equity funds, which can help them generate comparatively higher return. And similarly, those who wants a relatively stable but a comparatively lesser riskier investment option, they can invest in debt fund. It could be government debts, government bonds, and then commercial papers and various other debt instruments. And when we are talking about asset classes, we should also see how this is going to impact our return. And when investing in equity, it will have market risk and it will help you generate market related returns. And similarly, when you invest in debt fund, you can expect a decent or relatively fixed sum of return when compared to their other counterparts. And the other way in which mutual funds are constituted is open-ended and closed-ended funds. So in open-ended fund, there is no restriction on when you can pull out your money and when it is going to mature. There is nothing called maturity. Until the fund is running, this fund will keep on going. That is open-ended in a very simple term. And similarly, closed-ended fund is something wherein there is a maturity date, and before that you are not able to generally withdraw. Again, there are ways in which you can take out your money from this, and generally it is seen that debt funds may have closed-ended schemes, and usually equity schemes are open-ended because to have liquidity and also to ensure people get their money and are able to generate return and make their end goal meet. And another way is fund of fund. That is the fund that you are investing in. That fund will pool in the money from various investors, and then they will go ahead and invest in various other funds. This might be they might go ahead and invest in various other ETFs or various other mutual funds in the same country or abroad. The reason why this was created is to tackle few points. That is, you as a common investor might not be able to invest in international funds. The main objective of creating this was because they can go ahead and invest in such external and international mutual funds, so that as a common person they need not have to go through the hassle of transferring money and various other legal things that are related to this. And similarly, another objective was, instead of you selecting, let's say, 10 different mutual funds or ETFs, this mutual fund itself will select various kinds of mutual fund and take your money and invest in that in return for a small expense or management fee. And similar to that, various other things in between is also covered and invested by these fund of funds. So with this, I think this has given you a deeper insight on understanding various types of mutual fund and will help you to broaden your perspective and to decide how to invest. So in next video, as I have told, let's discuss on what are the factors to consider and what are the things to see, how to research, where to research, and how to start investing. And again, as I have told, Zerodha by Coin is something that I use and I recommend to my friends as well. So you can also consider the same way. You can check out the link in the description and open your account in Zerodha using that link. Also check out my Telegram channel and join that to have a much more healthier discussion and to be a part of a community. And I will see you soon.